But let's jump into the next topic, and we want to give a shout out to our guy, to the man, the myth, the legend, our patron. Guys in the Discord, constantly lighting us up, constantly shooting his shot, constantly giving us updates about his team, the Detroit Pistons. Shout out to Soapy Muffin. We love him.
Woo.
Shout out to him. He's one of the best.
Yep.
Always giving us updates on Andre Drummond. We always complain about Blake Griffin.
Luke Kennard for MVP as I almost knocked my water over.
He's a man after my own heart.
Shout out to Soapy. We love you. But anyways, we're talking about the Pistons. Who are they going to trade? Because it seems like it's a possibility that they might trade somebody. They're bad right now, and they have some players that are interesting. Andre Drummond, Blake Griffin, Derrick Rose. So we'll talk about all three of those guys. Who's going to be traded off this team? Yes or no? We'll get an answer from everybody on everybody. So you're going to get 9 answers and probably no actual conclusion. So
That's what you come here for, though.
Let's jump into it. We're going to start off with the big guys. We'll work our way down. We'll start with the tallest to the shortest, all right?
Yep.
So we're going to start off with big man, Andre Drummond. Then we'll go to a little bit smaller of a big man who would still eclipse me.
Boy.
Yeah, it would still eclipse me by a whole 12 inches. Blake Griffin. And then Derrick Rose, who's still taller than me. Yep. But we'll start off with Andre Drummond. Woj and Zach Lowe, two guys. See, this is a trade rumor that I respect.
Yeah.
Because Woj and Lowe on their trade preview show mentioned the Pistons and Mavs possibly Andre Drummond and Tim Hardaway being involved in a trade. That's very interesting to me because those are two guys with a lot of insight. Those are two guys that are putting out their name on the line on ESPN of all places. So
and they've got insider connections like nobody else's business.
So let's talk about Andre Drummond. Let's talk about the Mavs first. Do you think that Andre Drummond is a need for the Dallas Mavericks?
It's hard to say a need for a team that right now is performing so well, but I will say that if they had one weakness, it would be the center position right now. There's a reason why they wanted to get our boy from the Magic during this offseason, not just because he's a Euro, but Boosie, man. Come on. The whole thing was if they could go ahead and get a big man who can, help them offensively and rebound well and dish out a couple of assists, they'd be in business because KP has no post game. He's got no post moves. Yeah. Looks awful out there. And that's something he's got to work on going forward. But Drummond is just a vacuum of rebounds. Like, that man will rebound anything and everything within a 15-foot range of the rim. So I think that if they could go out there and get someone who could lock down that low post for them, that would be massive for them. And again, he's not the worst guy as far as passing out a low post. I think him and Luka in the pick and roll would be pretty disgusting. I think fit-wise, this could work out really nicely for the Mavericks.
I have a lot of issues with Andre Drummond, and I don't know if you have the same, Ricky. But I look at him, and I just wonder, why is he not better? Why is he not a guy that is more sought after? Because he's 26 years old. He's 6'10". He's probably one of the most athletic big men in the league right now. You just look at what he was doing in college. I mean, the guy's got an unnatural ability to jump. He's very fluid, very athletic. But I just don't understand a guy that's averaging 17 and 15 isn't the most sought-after player on the trade market right now.
Because he's the thing that I've always had a problem with Andre Drummond. It's not his fault. It's the team's fault of who they put around him. Really, if you're the number, like in this NBA, a center cannot be your number one. He could be your number two. He could be possibly your number three. Okay, can't be your number one.
But even then, I don't think he is even their number one.
No, I'm saying like even with Blake Griffin coming in, that hasn't been enough to kind of like.
It's hard
to
to win
me,
games when you don't have a point guard.
Exactly. Like they need a guard. They need a wing that can be their one or their two. I'll say not even their three, one or two.
I just think it's a thing of lack of motivation.
There's that too. You could say that.
I don't, and maybe that would come with playing with Luka and KP on a very winning team. Maybe that unlocks him. But I also think too that he can grab 15 boards a game. But I think one thing that is a little bit lacking in his game is the ability to start transition off of those rebounds. He isn't a horrible passer, but I also don't think assist means passing level, and I think he could be a much better passer. And maybe that is lack of weapons as well. Maybe he doesn't have the guys to actually even risk chucking balls out to. But I do think that with the guy that's grabbing 15 boards a game should be leading transition more and should be leading outlets more and should be pushing the pace a little bit more. And I really don't see that happening with Andre Drummond. And I think that would be something that could unlock his game. And I don't know if the Mavericks are the best spot for that, because I would much rather have Luka, the god of passing, to be, starting those transitions, being my main rebounder. I know that obviously, having Andre Drummond wouldn't hurt at all. It would also probably help boost Luka's rebound numbers, because you have to worry so much about
gets like
Andre Drummond.
8 to 10 boards a game.
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty incredible.
But still, I mean, like having Andre Drummond and Luka out there, it's a great pair. I just think that he should be much better than where he is at right now, and I think a lot of that has to do with his mentality, with his work ethic. He has worked hard on his free throws, so I'll give him a shout out to that. Jumping 30% on there. He's done a great job from 2016, 2017 to just 2017, 2018. He went from 30 to 60, so shout out to him for that. But I just don't think it's all there, and I think that should be concerning, that a guy this young, with this much athleticism, with this ability to grab boards, is not the most desired trade asset out there. I think that should be concerning.
Your point is valid too, because there's like actual evidence of, like, there was a game that we actually did for a watch along. I think it was against the Bulls, where it's like third quarter, he just goes, "Fuck it, I'm done. Foul, get me out of here."
Yeah,
like, and it's like
embarrassed in that game.
It's like, wait a second, there's like a complete second half to play, dude. No, I'm gonna hit the locker room. He
didn't hit the locker room.
No, he didn't hit the locker room. But it's like, I'm done with this game. I'm not playing. Here's my problem with the whole Mavs trade, though. I think the Mavs don't have the assets to get it done. And when I say that, the big thing I'm going to want, if I'm the Pistons, if I'm giving up Blake, if I'm fire sale with Drummond and Derrick Rose, I want picks. Dallas can't give me the 20 and 22 picks, because they already gave the Knicks the 21 and the 23.
Right.
And because of that Stephen rule, you can't, or Stephen rule, however you pronounce it, you can't give up those picks. So it's like that trade, it's not impossible, but it's going to be finagling to where I'm not going to want to wait until 2026 to get a pick, or 2025. So that's the only thing with the Mavericks that I think hinders them, is they gave up those assets to get KP, that because they can't give up year after year after year and do what that Redskins team did, that they won't be able to move the picks that the Pistons want unless they add a third team. And, okay, we get picks from you, but then who are we giving to you? And it's just going to be convoluted.
See, here's the problem with the Pistons is their front office has said they want to compete for the playoffs. They just want to be good at basketball. And I think that's the problem. You have a team that, if the front office is happy that you're making the playoffs, even if you get obliterated, 0-4 in the first round, they're still viewing it as a win. It's kind of hard to force bad pieces or force pieces out of town. We're doing this as the fact of, like, look, this is a team that looks like it needs a rebuild in our minds. Blake Griffin is a shell of himself right now. He needs to rest and get his whole body right before he comes back. He rushed back this season, it looks like, and has looked like it is just hurting him more. I think Drummond's one of the guys who, look, he's got good value. As much as you want to say he's underperformed by our standards, or he's looked lackadaisical out there, not 100% on the effort, like, he's still an excellent rebounder. He's still a good defender.
No, yeah,
and
he
the
is,
Mavs,
but
if
I
they
think
want to win, you need someone who can guard the rim.
My
you need rim protection.
Yeah, my thing isn't that he's a bad player. It's just I think that, like, why isn't he more coveted?
Yeah,
that's the question I'm asking.
Because nobody wants to have a big under a big contract, and that's what he's due for. Like, that's the problem, is he's due for a contract, and you don't want to be like, oh, we just talked about it. Steven Adams, Clint Capella, big guys on big contracts who aren't going to win you a championship.
Yeah, but even then, he is a he's up after he's got a player option. But I mean,
but that's the thing. He's going to be asking for a long-term deal for $20+ million a year.
Here's the thing,
but
though.
I'm fine with that, because I you don't have to sign him.
No, and
because the whole point, you're making this move to help you this year and possibly this year.
And that's why I think the Blazers are the best team, because, like, I just worked out here, they would have to give up in this mindset the 2020 and 2022 firsts.
Yeah.
Only because if I'm the Pistons, so the Blazers will get Drummond. That's all they get. Blazers will get those two picks, 20 and 22. They'll get Hassan Whiteside, so it's like, okay, going to take him off, but he's an expiring, so maybe you can take one of the picks off because of that. But you could also get, like, Nasir Little. And it's like, okay, we'll take on a project, we'll get picks. And Drummond can be like the mercenary for the Blazers. That even if Nurkic comes back, you now have Nurkic and Drummond and putting both of
Whiteside's
them
been playing good for them. And I don't know if it's necessary to do that.
Would you rather have Whiteside or Drummond?
Nurkic.
No, but if you had to pick Drummond or Whiteside, who would you pick?
I would rather have Whiteside because that way I can have Nurkic coming back and then trade Whiteside for a better player.
Yeah, they need wings.
I would rather trade Whiteside 27 mil for a wing.
Yep.
And even then, Whiteside's been playing good.
Yep.
So
there you go. We're going to solve this whole deal by trading Tim Hardaway Jr. to the Trailblazers for Hassan Whiteside. Everybody wins. Except for the Pistons.
So the Mavericks just say, well, we can't get Drummond. We'll
take Whiteside for a year.
We just made a deal. I don't even know if that's the let's make a deal thing. Let's answer this question before we get into Blake. Before we get
Hawks
into
the other team, though. I'm just tossed out there.
Well, what's the Hawks
Celtics
thing before we get into that?
Oh, dude,
I don't have a Hawks
you got.
Well, the Celtics thing means they have to trade Gordon Hayward, and I wouldn't do that.
It's just Drummond and Thon for Hayward in a first.
Yep,
Their own first, which would be low.
Nope, thank you. No, thank you.
Hawks having a center would be good, though.
Hi. Yes, this is the hi. This is Danny Ainge. Oh, you want me to trade Gordon Hayward for Andre Drummond? Oh, thank you. Have a great happy holidays.
Yep,
that's it. That's
Wait,
how that
you want
ends.
a pick from us? I don't have any of those to give up.
Thon Maker. Ooh,
fresh out.
Thon Maker though.
He does
not as tall. Not as tall as our guy.
How old is he?
He's 49. I think.
The Hawks have young assets.
Wait, what's the Hawks deal?
I don't know.
I'm coming up with one.
I literally have none.
Thanks,
I just
Ricky.
thought about a team,
I've got
and
you.
I was like, the Hawks could use a center. They're historically bad at defense. John Collins can't rim protect to save his life. So why not go get Drummond, who can be a big center, who can score points, who can defend the rim pretty well. Like
When he wants to.
Yeah, when he wants to. But I mean, like, that's team. You're not going to.
But that team sucks.
You're not going to eat criticism from the national media. You're in Atlanta.
That team still sucks though.
Trae Young and Drummond, man.
I don't know.
Just saying the oops.
I don't think it's going to happen just mainly because I don't think they're in a position to push it. Yeah, I don't think they want to push their wins up.
Yeah.
They suck. So why do that? Ricky, you don't have to come up with a trade.
I
don't
do.
Because they have money to spend.
Possible. Let's go to this.
It is possible. I'm going to come up with them before the end.
Okay, I don't really want to hear it.
Yeah, I do.
Let's do this. The question of will they trade before we get to Blake, before we get to T Rose.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to make trades? Because you brought up the whole idea of ownership wanting to make the playoffs and then selling playoff tickets and making money. The old Jerry Reinsdorf.
I say it's very close to home.
Yeah. So, do you think it's actually possible that a deal might get done for any of these players?
I think if it's anyone, it's going to be like a Derrick Rose. It's not. I don't see them moving on from Drummond or from Blake Griffin. Lord knows if anyone wanted Reggie Jackson, he's available, but that's not something that anybody
Please take Reggie Jackson. Please.
We will take a protected second round pick that's available from pick 59 to 60.
You give us your 2046 second round pick.
Yep. Unfortunately, nobody wants that, so they're locked in. Well, that's only until the end of the year. No big deal. I can't see them moving on from Blake Griffin. They pulled out a deal. They moved on. From a couple picks, and like I love the idea of the Toby for Blake thing was interesting, but like Blake Griffin needs to be healthy, and the problem is if you sell him now, you're not getting top dollar for Blake Griffin because he's playing like ass.
Yeah,
because he's still hurt. So I can't see him moving on from Blake Griffin. Nobody wants to go there in free agency, and if you don't have a name like Blake Griffin to entice people to come, then you're definitely not signing anybody.
Okay, so you don't think it's possible?
I think Blake is untouchable from the front office point of view. I think other teams would love to have someone like a healthy Blake Griffin, but I just can't see them giving him up for anything because they don't have...
Do they shut him down this year?
Potential. Well,
for a month? I think he just needs a month, and he could come back. Like, it literally... there's nothing officially wrong with him right now. He just looks like it's nagging injuries, and he's not all there yet. So I think if you rested him for, like, 30 straight days.
I'd say shut him down for the trade deadline.
Oof.
Well, depending on where the thing that's going to be the interesting is where are they by the trade deadline?
Yeah.
Where are they by the All-Star break?
Because
they're only
playoffs.
2.5 back.
Yep.
I mean, the Bulls are also 2.5 back, and so are the Hornets. But it's like that's a weird thing because this year, even the West, you pointed out, Dave, before we recorded, is the same way at the bottom, where this year has been oddly
it's just top heavy,
weird, where it's just. Not just top heavy. It's just like you said, a losing record. 38-43 might get you into the playoffs.
Yep.
If my math was right there, whatever, I might have added a game, subtracted a game. But 38
They're off
wins
there.
might get you into the playoffs in the East at least.
Yep.
And for the Pistons, that's the part where, as a Piston fan, I would be nervous because it's like, well, this team can compete for the 8th seed, and if we're in the race, the GM and the front office ain't going to want to make the move. I think you're right. Blake, I would be the one that I keep. Drummond and Rose, though, I would definitely trade.
If you get a Godfather kind of deal for Blake, sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
But he
Like,
would be the one that I kind of want to keep. Drummond and Rose,
Right.
I can trade out and then try to get assets to build around Blake.
But if for some godforsaken reason
Yes.
Pat Riley shows up and is like, I need Blake Griffin on the Heat, and Pat Riley would never do this. Don't even get me started.
What
on
would he
this,
even give him
fans.
though?
But that's the thing. They've got a
I
bunch
will
of
find
assets
out.
and contract filler. Like they've got young talent out the ass, and they've got old guys on bad contracts. So like that's a situation where you could get one of those incredible deals.
Also, that
but they're
Hawk,
not going to do it because they wouldn't, because they're a great team already.
before I forget, that Hawk deal that Dave brought up
Yeah.
would be Drummond to the Hawks.
Oh, that actually
for
works.
Evan Turner,
Yeah.
Cam Reddish, and then 2020 Brooklyn's pick, and then 2021 Atlanta's pick.
Yeah, that would actually work.
I wouldn't give up Reddish.
I mean,
I would just
And
just
Turner-
looks
I
like
would
he might be a basketball
and
player.
with
I'd rather have
Turner,
Wiseman.
if you like Turner, you can
I
put
know.
Crab there. Like either one you want to trade, Turner or Crab.
Yeah.
You can do either one there.
No, I think that's probably the right kind of value. I don't know if it's 2 firsts because of Drummond's contract.
Yeah, I just thought the Brooklyn pick at least because it's like Atlanta's pick
Yeah.
is going to be a top pick.
Yeah, I would not
Brooklyn,
give up
it's like
my own.
whatever. We're
It's a
giving up on 19.
mid-first rounder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say maybe 1 pick, but that sounds about right in my mind. But no, I think that's a problem. Unless you're getting a Godfather deal for Blake Griffin, he's not moving. As hurt as he is, they're gonna keep him. They want to fill seats. Asses in seats is always the answer. That's the only reason I would say it's unlikely that he gets moved. Even though, Sean, I know this hurts your prediction of
My prediction's gone anyways.
the Blazers.
Yeah, it's dead.
It's
Don't worry
dead?
about it. Yeah.
It's dead? It's not coming back?
No, it's not happening.
Okay.
Would you say yes to never mind. Cannot do it.
I wouldn't do it.
Almost had a deal.
I would not say yes to that.
Anyways, what was your deal with Blake?
I was just ripping on you and the Trailblazers deal.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen because he looks like shit.
Yep.
He didn't look. I mean, that was before the season. So I don't think a deal with Blake is gonna happen. I agree with you that I don't think that they're gonna make a move for Blake Griffin. I don't think it's
Unless
possible.
they're getting like 2 picks or a young star. No,
Yeah, and
that's not happening.
the Heat are still so much against the cap. I tried trading James Johnson, Myers Leonard, and KZ Akbala, and the 1 first-round pick they can trade and a second-round pick, and they're over the tax too much. So that's the thing is that like I don't think they have enough to get rid of him because you're not going to move Dragic.
They would have
You're
to
not moving
move
Jimmy.
one of the young pieces. I
mean. I
they
didn't
don't cost a
include
lot.
Dion. I mean, who would you include? KZ or would you include like Kendrick? Or
They would probably want Kendrick Nunn.
Okay.
I'd be okay with moving Kendrick Nunn.
So James
but,
Johnson,
that's the thing, they're not
Waiters,
gonna do this.
Nunn, a first and a second.
Yeah.
No, it's still not possible
Yikes.
with the tax.
I've almost got one.
Taxes are awful.
So
anyway,
you
I
want
love
to give
the
up
Heat.
Nunn?
They're not going to move. They're not going to move anything. I literally just picked a team.
Yeah, I know.
Yes,
now-
I know,
now
but
it's
like
fun.
I think it's just so difficult because of how much he's making.
Yeah. How much is Blake making this year?
34. So I mean, and it's fine when he's healthy. I don't know.
Hey, we just talked about Russell Westbrook, Blake
Got
Griffin,
one.
Do you want to swap?
Swapsies, Swapsies. Anyway,
Do you think that helps
Detroit
the Rockets?
gets a point guard.
Do you think that helps the Rockets?
The Rockets get Blake Griffin, who may or may not be healthy. It's like Chris Paul all over
I think it
again.
could help them.
I love it.
I think it could help the Rockets. I did find a Heat trade. I wouldn't do it though.
No one would do it. Any Heat trade. The Heat don't want him.
Blake Griffin to the Heat for Goran Dragic, Myers Leonard, Derrick Jones Jr., Kendrick Nunn, and then picks. Like 2025, 2027.
And we already said, which we were listening earlier, we wouldn't include Goran.
I just wanted to get the success.
So congratulations, Ricky. All
Great
right.
success.
So Blake looking
Very
unlikely.
nice.
Final one, Derrick Rose.
The
What are
most
the
likely.
options here?
I mean, he's the most coveted guy off the bench right now, and that's the problem. Is he's the only one who looks good. He's playing incredible. I mean,
gosh.
outside of Luke Kennard.
Kennard.
Kennard looks great, and I'm just gonna go with I'm happy that he's finally playing up, and they've given him the minutes, and he's doing great because everybody just shit on them because I get it. Guys taken after him, right after him, play pretty good in the league. But he's a good piece, and I think he'll keep growing. But Derrick Rose has just been nothing shy of, old Derrick Rose. He's got half the athleticism, but that's still twice as much as anybody else in the league. So I think that you get someone who's smart, savvy, playoff experience. He's good with assisting young players. He's great coming off the bench. No ego left in his game. I think there's a handful of teams who would love to have him. I'm surprised the Jordan Clarkson deal went down because I would have figured that the Jazz would have been a great team to go after him. I know the Lakers are a team that they are desperately looking for help off the bench, and I know we're going to talk about them a little bit later. And there's a couple other playoff teams who are just like, if they had a scorer off the bench, that shit would be legitimate.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Ben Taylor of Thinking Basketball. He talks a lot about Rajon Rondo.
He's struggled a little.
What's up?
He's struggling a little this year.
Yeah, how his passing's still great, but he dribbles too much, he thinks too much, and some of the passes that he is making are are very tight windows. So but they need to play him so much because he's the only other player that can pass the ball besides LeBron James. So Rose would be an interesting one. I just don't know how good Rose would be. In transition, at least leading breaks. I know that him finishing is great.
Goes upstairs.
I just said that he's great. He's great at finishing, but I don't know how he would be good as a leader. At least leading the fast break. You know what I'm saying? In transition, because he can lob up to LeBron, no problem. But I don't know if he's going to be able to hit those tight windows. If he's going to be able to hit AD on those closeouts. I don't know how good of a long passer he is.
Yeah, he's solid. But
so I would just worry about his straight up passing ability, but I don't hate D Rose to the Lakers.
The other team, 76ers. Like 100%, the 76ers need a guard.
Sixers. Yeah, I mean, Markelle Fultz just outplayed Ben Simmons.
Yikes.
He just destroyed him. Less minutes, more points, two threes when Ben didn't.
Big yikes.
No, not big yikes. Shout out Markelle.
Oh, I love Kelly. Like, it's so happy that he's finally getting the chance to play basketball, and when he's medically right, and he's going to keep getting better and better. He's going to be a stud.
The two guard that was promised for Ben Simmons
but
has now come back and turned the sword.
But the 76ers desperately need a guard on the bench who can create and who can score, and that is Derrick Rose. He's a perfect fit for that team, and I think they'd have to give up like a Mike Scott and a pick to get there, and Mike Scott's he's been hot and cold.
Philly fans wouldn't be happy.
Mike Scott's legit Philly.
Three general managers.
Actually, it's funny. I was talking to Jake about that, Sixer fan.
Yep.
And he
probably would.
And he even said, he's like, I would give, he's like, I'm not really the Beehive. I'd give up Mike Scott in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It would be Mike Scott and something because Derrick Rose is actually very good and is on a 2-year deal, I think $9 million a year this year and next. So it would make perfect sense for them, and they would be disgusting if they could add Derrick Rose to that team. Oh, I would love that for Philly. Like, they're a team that desperately needs help off the bench. And again, we talked about, I was even trying to mock Alec Burks to them. In early trade rumors.
I think you're right. I don't think Blake or Drummond's going to get traded. If anything's going to get traded, it'd be like Langston Galloway or Marcus Morris or
they don't
not
have
Marcus,
Markeith. They got Keith.
Markieff Morris or D Rose. I think it's going to be one of those smaller pieces. All right, Ricky. We're not going to ask you what you think about the trades. Just empty the trade chamber.
I do.
I'm assuming you have like 90.
I do. So the Laker one, I have to look back to Christmas Day because I did send one out on Christmas to see what. I'm
not going to react to them, by the way. Whatever you throw out there, I'm not going to react. So I want people to take in what you are saying. These are all Ricky's unadulterated, unfiltered thoughts that you have to take in. So you're going to take in all of Ricky's
I got 3 of them.
Shots. He's got 3 shots. We're gonna end this segment with Ricky's 3 shots. No reaction, Dave, all right?
So these are Derrick Rose trades, by the way. So the first one, Lakers get Rose and a 2022 first. Pistons get Kuzma, Jared Dudley, and Talon Horton-Tucker. Then the next one is Derrick Rose to the Bucks for Ersan and a 2020 first via Indiana. And then just because people are saying bring him back home, Chicago giving up Chris Dunn, Denzel, and a second for Derrick Rose. Probably not enough. Not going to happen, but had to throw out a Bulls one just to... The dream's still alive. We can, and the Bulls, hey, if we're going to make an 8 seed, we might need a guy with playoff experience, and the Bulls might look for Derrick Rose.
I said I wasn't going to react, so I'm not going to. Although I think my reaction of getting up was enough. No, fuck that. Read the Lakers one again.
The Laker one? Oh, that one was on my phone.
Kuz, THT,
and Dudley for Derrick Rose and a first. No. The pick would be going to the Pistons. Derrick Rose is going to the Lakers. No. Did I have a pick from the Pistons? Basically, the players are Derrick Rose of the Pistons, Kuzma, Dudley, and Talon Horton-Tucker.
How does that make sense?
I mean, it worked.
Derrick Rose is equal to one Kyle Kuzma.
Well, that and then the other two make
Kuzma might be a little bit more valuable.
You know what? You'd be wrong.
And that's why I think I had a pick
for the Lakers?
to.
Not for the Lakers.
That's
okay,
the thing.
That's fair. Putting it in that frame.
The Lakers don't need another wing chucker. They need a point guard.
I don't hate that framing of it.
Yeah.
But then including your recent draft pick in Taylor Horton-Tucker and another chucker
he's raw.
in Dudley.
I'd keep
where
Dudley.
You're trading two garbage pieces in Chris Dunn and Denzel Valentine and a second.
Denzel Valentine's not bad.
Homerism,
that is
brother.
right. No.
You're not bad.
I had a first rounder going from the Pistons to the Lakers.
Yeah.
So it's like,
you're
getting Derrick Rose, but Kuzma is young and he's good.
Yeah.
So the Pistons would have to give up Rose and a 2022 first.
All right, the Laker one's better. The Bulls one is
the Bulls
horrible.
one's horrible, but I mean,
I'll pull the trigger on that.
Shocker.
Well,
Shocker.
the only thing here's the only thing about the Bulls one.
Keep it
and
to
this
super
is,
fans.
And this is no. This is the homerism with it. Is
the homerism is the fact that you're destroying the deal.
Well,
the
no,
Bulls
I
are
would. The
winning
Bulls
that
would have.
deal by
The
a
Bulls would
landslide.
have to give up a first round pick, and I just wouldn't want to give up a first round pick for Derrick Rose.
Yeah,
That's
so
why,
you didn't.
That's why I don't think it
on our
happens.
podcast.
Yeah, and that's why I just threw it at the end. But the Bucks one is they're another team that people are saying, hey, they could use a guy like Derrick Rose, and Ersan and Rose making the same amount of money, so that works. And if the Bucks just say, hey, let's toss a pick that way. The only one they got this year though is that Indiana pick. But would they want to go pickless this year?
Yeah, I don't hate it. All right, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below about all the trades we talked about here in the Pistons segment. If you are a Pistons fan, let us know what you think down in the comments below, especially you our guy, Soapy Muffin.